So in the 1960s, two old white guys decided to electrocute some dogs, and that's how we came up with the term learned helplessness. These two gentlemen decided to experiment on some dogs, and this is how the experiment went. First, they placed a control group of dogs into a kennel with a hammock, and that hammock was electrified. The second control group also had an electrified hammock. In the first control group, the electric shocks were given to the dogs, and the dogs could press a button that would stop those electric shocks. In the second control group, the dogs were also shocked, but there was no button. They learned over multiple repeated shocks that there was no way to stop this from happening to them. So, at the end of the experiment, both control groups were placed into a different box that had one side that was electrified and another that was not. What the experiment showed is that the dogs that learned that they could control their environment by pressing a button and stopping those shocks learned that they could jump from the electrified side of the kennel to the non-electrified side. But the dogs that learned that they had no control over their own environment, that they would continually receive shocks no matter what they did, didn't even attempt to jump to the other side of the box. And that, my friends, is how we came up with the term learned helplessness. But as you can see from the experiment with the dogs, it wasn't just learned, it was taught. It was reinforced over multiple bad experiences that that dog had no control over anything that happened to him, so why bother? And that same feeling is something that a lot of neurodivergent, particularly late diagnosed ADHD or autistic people feel about their own lives. Not because you are actually helpless, but because your life's experiences over time, through repeated shocks and activities and treatment from others, interpersonal relationships, you learned that you're not capable because you were told you weren't over and over again. So I think the term learned helplessness puts a lot of onus on the person who learned the helplessness and takes it all away from the people like those doctors who shocked the dogs that actually taught you to be helpless. So all this to say, if you do experience these feelings of learned helplessness, if you feel like you are incapable of doing things because you have been given that message over and over again, not only is it probably not true, it's not your fault. Just like those dogs being shocked, you were taught you had no control over your own environment. So now you have to teach yourself that you do. Okay, love you, bye.